So welcome everyone, it's good to see you. As you, or most of you already know, we are currently covering excuse me, all the basic stages of meditation practice. We'll go from the very first preparations that precede the practice all the way up to the deeper stages of meditation. And so far we have covered the three preparations, which is the posture. You want to hold it upright and be relaxed at the same time. So relaxing here doesn't mean that you are a bit like a wet noodle and everything just drops down and you start to slouch. Relaxing means that you're maintaining your structure internally, but you are relaxing the soft tissue. The soft tissue melts into the ground, follows the pull of gravity. The breath is kind of like a bridge between the mind and the body, and here it serves to create clarity in the mind, create vitality in the body. And so you want to spend some time in the beginning of the meditation practice and throughout the practice really cultivating a proper breathing, deeper type of breathing. So you want to breathe from your diaphragm, from your belly, breathing with the lower rib cage, filling the lower areas of the lungs rather than the upper ones. Really working out your lungs completely, so they fill with oxygen completely and they also empty completely. That's particularly important in the beginning, so you want to just take a few deep breaths. The third preparation is your attitude, which is a guiding principle throughout the meditation practice. Many people are very concerned with the various techniques that are out there. What are you doing? Oh, I'm doing headspace meditation, I'm doing vipassana, I'm doing transcendental meditation. It's much more important how you do it rather than what kind of technique you're using. So how you treat yourself throughout the practice is of prime importance. If you treat yourself with your usual state of mind, if you bring your usual state of mind into the meditation practice, you'll quickly find out that it's not very relaxing. Quite the opposite. It might be quite stressful. You might try to compete with yourself, to focus, to try to get rid of distractions. Basically, you're approaching yourself as if you were broken. And so you try to fix yourself. You sit down and you do the meditation practice trying to somehow fix what's broken. That's already a wrong approach. We're not trying to fix what's broken. We're actually trying to understand what's going on. If you have a friend that comes to you, a friend wants to tell you something, and you constantly interrupt the friend because you want to present yourself and your own knowledge and your own kind of ability to help someone, then you cannot help your friend because you're not even listening, right? It's really important to listen, to pay attention. Most people are not really good at listening. Most of the time we listen in order to answer. So then we can present ourselves in the next sentence again. It's more about communication. Very often is more about presenting the self rather than actually receiving another being, understanding someone else. If it is about really receiving someone else and understanding that person, then healing can happen. Why do people yell at each other? Because they want to be heard, they want to be seen, they want to be received in awareness of another person. And they only yell because they feel exactly the opposite. They feel you're not listening, you're not receiving them. Then you have an argument. It's two people who are trying to get the other one to listen. That's an argument. Nobody wants to listen, right? So here the attitude is one of listening to yourself and receiving yourself as you are. That's in capital letters. As you are. With friendliness, with kindness, acceptance. Just starting from there. Seeing what's going on. Rather than immediately approaching yourself from the point of demands. Here's what I want. First this, then that. That's not how meditation works. Or that's at least not a cause of relaxation. That's a cause of more stress, more struggle. So rather than trying to achieve something here, it is about really listening. That's the right attitude. Paying attention to yourself, understanding, comprehending what's going on in the mind and the body. Then the first stage is all about allowing the body to settle, giving the body some space that it can relax. Obviously, you cannot make relaxation happen. Just imagine I would walk around with you at your side for the whole day, and I would constantly tell you to relax. Like every minute I would tell you, relax, relax. Come on, relax deeper. It's not deep enough. You can relax deeper than that. Keep relaxing. And I do that the whole day long. Would you be relaxed by the end of the day? For sure not. I follow you everywhere. I don't even have to do that actually. You have a voice in your head that does that for me. It's constantly telling you what to do, how to be like, and how the world around you should be like, right? There's a voice in your head that constantly has some demands on how people should be, how you should be, how this situation should be. I'm not used to this. Why is it like this? It should be like that. Should, constantly. So how can you relax, possibly? The more demands, the more shoulds we have, the more easily we are upset and triggered and unhappy. If someone is used to living in 5-star suites their entire life, and you put them into a simple, normal hotel, they'll freak out. It's too simple. Compared to what they know, it is like, what's that? So if we're constantly comparing and imposing shoulds on life, life will be unbearable. The same as with ourselves. So we cannot relax the body relaxes by itself. It's the same thing if you're trying to go to sleep at night and you're trying to sleep. Have you ever done that? Trying to sleep? Have you ever had that experience? You're in your bed, you're wide awake, and you're trying to sleep. Well, that's the definition of insomnia. Trying to sleep. It's the most natural thing, sleeping. But it becomes unnatural as soon as you're trying to do it. You're trying to make it. It's like trying to grow hair. Give it a shot. Try to grow your hair. I guarantee you will fail. Try to digest your food. Try to do anything pertaining to the body, anything. Try to renew your cells. Run the immune system. You can't. Fortunately, you can't. We would probably mess it up. Yes. So instead of trying to do something that is absolutely natural to you, you can't. So you have to stop trying. Then you relax. Like always, I give this example here. If I put the water bottle down, the water relaxes all by itself. I don't have to relax it. Body is the same. Second stage, we relax away from future and past thoughts. So we come into present moment awareness. Third stage, that present moment awareness gets deeper. When stage 1 deepens, it naturally results in stage 2, presence. When stage 2 deepens, when your sense of presence deepens, it naturally results in stage 3, And what's stage 3? It is silent present moment awareness, or just simply silence. And what is silence? Here, silence is defined as the absence of words in your head. The absence of talking to yourself. Simple as that. And we're all doing that all the time, talking to ourselves. Imagine people could hear your thoughts. Would you be deemed a sane person or an insane person? Imagine everyone could hear everyone's thoughts. It would be such an incredible noise. Unimaginable. But we are living with this noise 24/7. Constantly talking to ourselves, talking back at ourselves, and then answering and going through scenarios. It's insane. It's total insanity. And it costs you energy. It doesn't come for free. Nothing is free. You have to pay for that with something. It's energy in the mind. You're paying with mental energy. Just like you're paying for a good salary. You're paying with your time. You're paying with your energy. Right? You need to make sacrifices. Higher the salary you need, the more you need to pay for it. People don't see that. They only see the salary. Oh, get a higher salary, great. But they don't see what they're sacrificing for it. They might then see it as soon as they get burnout, or they get sick, or they're on their deathbed, doing their last breath. All of a sudden seeing that they have to give back everything they've worked for. That's a pity. It happens to quite a lot of people. So presence equals life. Where's your life? I'm not being philosophical, I'm being highly practical right now. Where is your life? We all talk about our life, right? My life is like this, my life is like that. Well, where is that life that you're talking about? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? Is it yesterday? Was it? Will it be? Are you hoping for it to be a certain way? Are you fearing for it to become a certain way? Almost all people feel like life is something that is a possession that they have, or that is somehow distant from themselves, something that they must accomplish. Life is something that I have to accomplish. I have to deserve it. But first I need to do A, B, and C, and then I can enjoy life. But life is what is happening right now. And I don't mean the general now, I mean this moment, right now. And while we are talking to ourselves in our heads, we miss it. It's that simple. We miss it. And in my opinion, that's the reason why we are scared of death. Because we are not living. We are busy thinking about life a lot, the whole day long. Thinking about other people's lives even, a lot. So we miss it. It's like listening to an audiobook while someone else is giving you really important information, but you can't hear them because you're concentrating on the audiobook. As soon as you're concentrating on your thoughts, you miss all the important information that life offers you every moment. And life is doing that. Every moment it's giving you information. A fighter, if you have some experience in the ring, whatever, you practicing Muay Thai or something like that, and you know that if you're in the ring, if you're fighting someone, you have to be absolutely present. Plans don't work. Training works, and then in the ring, hopefully, the training will do what it's supposed to do. But you have to get out of the way. That's why we repeat a punch hundreds and thousands of times. Was that Bruce Lee? He famously said,
I don't fear the man who has practiced 10,000 techniques or 10,000 punches. I fear the man who has practiced one punch 10,000 times. It doesn't have a wide range of activity, but if that one range hits you, that's it. And so what is our greatest power in life? It is presence, actually. If you are not aware of what is going on, you're not functioning properly. You can't. Like, look at a pianist, somebody that plays a concert. As long as the pianist is worried, let's say we're talking about a newbie, somebody that plays his first concert. So there's a whole lot of worrying going on of what the audience might think of him. That will ruin the concert. He might still play technically correct, but it lacks what? It lacks the essence of the play. It lacks the essence of the music. So when is it that the music fully reveals its essence? It is when the pianist goes and only the music is left. Some people who are doing sports, they know that when you do sports, right? You might experience a runner's high, or you might do the training and suddenly like 3 hours have passed and you're really into it and it feels amazing, it feels great. You're functioning at your best. It's peak performance. Why is it peak performance? Because you're not doing it for anyone else and you're not doing it for any other time but now. The outcome doesn't matter. You're in your element. Am I making sense? Yes? Does that make sense? You all know that state. You've experienced it multiple times in your life. You're experiencing it when you eat your favorite food. You're experiencing it when you have sex. You're experiencing it when you listen to a beautiful piece of music. You're experiencing it when you read wonderful poetry. When you just get lost in the moment, in that moment, everything else disappears. There's just what you're doing right now. And that's what makes things pleasurable, makes them nice. So presence is a direct cause of pleasure, of you feeling happy, feeling good. Now we're coming back to the point that presence is what creates energy. It allows for energy to come back to you. While talking to yourself in your own heads takes energy from you. Resting in your being allows energy to come back to you. Depending on how much energy you have lost, you might be in debt. Depends on how much energy you have lost, that's how you will feel. If you've lost a huge amount of energy, you likely feel depressed. You have no energy. A depression is nothing but a lack of energy in the mind. So how can you re-energize your mind? You re-energize your mind by tending to your being, not the doing. There are two parts to your mind. One is the doing part. We know that as sankhara, which means fabricating, the doing part of the mind. Wanting, not wanting, liking, disliking, trying, motivating, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Thinking, blah, blah, blah. Images, imagination, visualization, planning, remembering, all that. That's the doing part of the mind. There's another part of the mind too, we know it as a jnana, which means the knowing quality of the mind, the knower, your being. If you rest in the knowing quality, that's exactly what you train in meditation practice, then the knowing quality becomes energized. The doing quality relaxes. You will experience that after a while as happiness in body and mind. the very first inklings of this kind of happiness. And I'm talking about a specific kind of happiness that is only accessible to people who meditate. Meditation can be said to be a training for happiness. And it follows the opposite rules of any worldly kind of training. While worldly kind of training is about accumulating, getting more, meditation is about less. While the world is about doing, meditation is about being much more. And all the doing that is applied in meditation practice is for the sake of leading you to that state of being. So we need to have in the beginning skillful doing. It means actually creating time, sitting down, taking time for yourself, scheduling it in, and then learning to become quiet. Allowing yourself to become quiet. Allowing all the noise to leave you. That will take a while, because we're full of it. There's a lot of noise to go. So in the beginning, it's mostly about just patiently doing the same thing over and over and over again. And the mind wanders off. What do? You bring it back. Where do you bring it back to? To presence or to silence. So I said before that the deepening of presence gives rise to silence. I'd like you to experience that right now. Can you feel your right hand? You all feel it? Just feeling the right hand. Okay? Only the right hand. Yes? Now at the same time, feel your left foot. Now we add another one. Listen to the sounds around you. Pick one sound and listen to it. Any sound you like. Right hand, left foot, sound. Probably you've had a few moments in there where you did not speak to yourself. Is that correct? Now you probably only know that in retrospect because I just said it. So you look back and you said, oh yeah, that's true. I just had like a minute without talking to myself. Well, that's it. And why did you stop talking to yourself? Because you paid attention. Those two don't go together. You're either busy talking to yourself or you pay attention. Sometimes, and that's a rare occasion in this world, you might talk with somebody that pays full attention to you and what you say. It usually feels very uncomfortable. When someone fully pays attention to you, you feel almost naked. Like you're sitting in front of them and they see everything about you. They pay so much attention, you feel uncomfortable. It's too much. We're kind of used to people paying half attention or quarter attention, almost no attention. Like they would play with stuff while they're talking with you. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Maybe look at their phones. Maybe you see their eyes wandering around as you talk with them. It's like, oh yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah. Looking at their watch, As you feel their attention is multiple places. It is not fully with you. If it is fully with you, it's a very different kind of experience. That kind of attention, if you give that to yourself, magic will happen in your life, just quite simply. It all boils down to that. It all boils down to the way you pay attention in life, what you do and how you do it. How present are you as you're riding the train to work? Are you in the train? That's your training ground. As you're opening the door, entering your office, are you opening the door? That's your training ground. If you take a shower at night, if you eat, are you eating? Do you even taste what you eat? If you're there with your spouse, are you there with your spouse? It's difficult in these times. I see a lot of people who are sitting, staring at their phones, but they're together, they're sitting together, but they're not together. So how can we actually bring that kind of structure into our day that really helps us to develop these things? My personal recipe for presence is death. See this day as your last, and practice only that. If this was your last day today, and you would have the tool of presence, you would definitely use it. You would not want to waste your time for nonsense, for things that don't matter. You would not want to hang out with people that drain you, that don't pay attention. You would not want to be one of those people who do not pay attention. Because all of a sudden it strikes you, wow, I'm alive. And that means something. There's some value to that. The fact is that your highest possession is your life. And it's the one most disregarded. We don't even pay attention. We don't even notice that we're alive. All the way up till the last breath. Then we notice. And then it's very unfortunate, because then it's like, I have been alive. And that's too late then. That's why a lot of people, they feel as they're approaching death, they feel very bitter. They feel angry at life. Like almost like life is disappointing them. Why me? Well, why not? We all have to go through this. So why not you? Better question to ask actually, why not me? I get cancer, I get diagnosed cancer, why not? Why not? We're all in this. We all get these kind of diagnoses. Well, we think we're exempt somehow. We think it's kind of remote, it doesn't touch us. And it's so important to think of these things, because otherwise we just continue wasting time for things that don't matter. And what is it that matters most? Your life. And how you use this moment, right now, right here. If you're using it well, chances are you're using the next moment well too. And before you know it, you have yourself an accumulation of moments well spent. Minutes, hours, even entire days, well spent. Spent awake, aware, having a choice. How do I react to this? What do I do now? And what am I currently doing? This kind of choice, that's your power. But you cannot be in your power if you don't even notice that you're here. So this is how important presence is, and it's just the second stage. And as that deepens, you really come into this second, into this moment, you naturally become quiet, just like the little exercise we just did. Right hand, left foot sounds. Boop, you're quiet, because you're so present, you don't even have time anymore to talk to yourself. The insanity stops. The relationship with yourself stops. Or it begins to end. True love, we can say, really is the end of a relationship. It's the ending of relationships. It is the becoming one with what is. It is so intimate that it transcends two. difficult to comprehend, but you all have this experience. When you're with your lover, excuse me, I'm talking about this kind of stuff, but when you're with your lover and you have good sex, at the very climax point, that is the experience. There's no more experience of me and other, this and that, past and future, whatever. It's all gone in that moment. It's very short, but it's that short moment. It's that kind of experience. That's precisely why it is so blissful. There's a complete falling away of all the nonsense that goes on through our heads all day long. For a moment you're acutely, sharply in the now. And so that is what we're seeking out through meditation. That is the very root of bliss, is the very root of pleasure, of feeling good in your whole being. And that good feeling is the very root of good action, loving, kind, compassionate action, which is uplifting, which is not divisive, which brings people together, which cares for yourself and others. All that is the root of happiness. It is what we all desire. And it all depends on presence. And it depends on the ability to shut up here for a little while and to really come into this moment, really experience the aliveness of life. Well, that's the learning ground. This is when meditation really begins. To me, that silent present moment awareness, I call it as the base of all spiritual practice. If you can dwell in that base for long times, you're ready to do all kinds of spiritual work. You're in the realm of spirituality in that moment. And if you can enter it shortly, and enter it again and again and again and again. Seek it out. Allow it to have an impact on you, to change yourself from the inside out. It is that practice. So that is the first section on silent present moment awareness. On Thursday evening I'm going to talk a little bit more about silent present moment awareness. It will be a bit more about the technicalities of it, how to really induce it in several ways, and how to allow it to deepen over time. But today is just a little bit of an appetizer, I don't know, like a little trailer. Okay. And so we go deeper into the topic on Thursday evening. Are there any questions so far?